Okay, I know what you are thinking when newcomers tend to get into the game development scene. They tend to get scared or trying to find the best game engine that is recommended from other game developers. But as soon as you take your first dive into your first game engine, you get overwhelmed very quickly, frantically looking for tutorials to help you make your own dream project, making mistakes after mistakes, looking for more tutorials to help you and your project until you give up and move on to the next game engine and do the same process all over again. And I know what you're saying. How do you know all this? Well, it's because I was in your shoes once, going through game engines after game engines and tools after tools without asking the most important question that had helped me on my first step of game development. When I mean by first step, I mean the first step of understanding yourself and what game developer you want to be, because when newcomers come into the game development, their thought process is wanting to make their own dream game and can't wait to make money from it. But there's more to it than just that, and it took me a good 5 years to understand that I haven't been asking myself the right questions, like why do I want to be a game developer, or what kind of game developer do I want to be? These are the most important questions that will help you understand and get a better knowledge of yourself, of what engine is best suited for you, and what tools to use along with it. So allow me to break it down into smaller questions to help the newcomers even further. When it comes down to choosing your first game engine, it's best to understand where you are coming from. Understanding your preferences, but also your capacity and capability of knowledge. Like examples, what games do you enjoy playing and what genre? What art styles do you like? What programming knowledge do you have? And of course, in today's society, budget, since most game engines requires a subscription now these days. So let's use me for a very good example. I like playing 2D retro games, mostly on the NES or the SNES, and I like playing platformers and shoot 'em ups. 2D pixel art is where I actually focus on, mostly for 16x16 or 32x32, and I do have a beginner to intermediate knowledge of using Python, with a $60 budget. With those kind of answers, I've narrowed myself down to 2 game engines. Well, actually a game engine and a game framework. With Pygames being a very good example of a game framework. What is a game framework? A game framework is lighter than an engine. It allows you to heavily focus on coding side of things if you're not much into arts or actually working on music, allowing the computer to work on everything else, with it being sprites, music, and also yet input handling. It allows you to focus on everything while you're working on coding, whether it's Python, Lua, or other programming languages. A very good example that allows you to do that is any program software like Visual Studio Codes, Visual Studio, and many more programs out there that allows you to work with just a game framework. And Godot, a proper game engine that uses GDScript, which is a combined effort of both Lua and Python. And with them also being an open source and free to use game engine, with it mainly focused on 2D games and 3D games if I want to explore, I found the game engine that is best suited for me. For the tools to go along with it, since I'm more adept to pixel art, there are several pixel art tools out there. Pixel Edit, Piskel, LibreSprite, the free version of my choice being Asprite, being, well, $30 to buy, and of course, Resprite being $25. Though yes, I could have used the free pixel art tools that I've mentioned before, but since I've bought Asprite a while back and I've been using this tool for a very long time, I've grown accustomed to it and how to use it. With it having an easy to understanding UI and the community tutorials, this became my go-to pixel art tool. With asking yourself these questions, you get a better understanding of what engine and tools are best suitable for you, and also yet for the journey ahead, laying out the foundations and common knowledge of the game engine and tools that you are using. Which leads me to my next segment. Picking the engine and tools is one thing. Understanding them is another. You're fresh into game development and wanting to make your first game with your game engine of choice, and once you get in, Yeah, you get the idea, but don't let it put you off of not starting. Though yes, it may look scary when you first start off with all the unknown tools, nodes, scripts and functions, it can overwhelm a newcomer very quickly, and most of them tend to close the game engine off. But the best way to overcome it is to look at some basic tutorials. Not tutorials that make full-fledged games, no. We're talking about real small tutorials that shows the basics of basics. Tutorials that help you understand how your game engine or tools works. Like a good example for any Godot users, recommend looking at How to Make a Video Game Godot Beginner Tutorial by Brackies. A simple tutorial that helps you understand how each node's programming and other features that Godot uses work to make a simple and easy 2D platformer. Or for any Unity users out there, look up some small game tutorials from Sasquatch Bee Studios of making Flapping Birds or a hill climb racing. Going into programming side of things, learning how to use 2D physics and spawning in obstacles or items at certain positions to make the game more random and fun for replayability. Even GameMaker Engine has a dedicated tutorial page on their main web page, helping newcomers to understand both visual scripting or coding, making small toy project to give newcomers an understanding of how the GameMaker Engine works. Also, looking at the game engine documents. Looking at the game engine documents may overwhelm newcomers with a lot of knowledge, but it will help you understand how each functions, syntax, events, and nodes, etc. for each game engine of your choice. Though yes, most newcomers don't read it, it is very beneficial and helpful when you get stuck at some certain problems. Same will apply for other tools as well, whether it's for music development, arts and modeling. It's always best to understand the basics and grow from there by helping improving yourself of your knowledge, capability and capacity. Speaking of which, not everyone can be a master overnight. This is a long journey when it comes to game development. Look at me, I'm still learning how to use Godot at its full potential, learning new ways to make my workload a lot easier. And for me using Sprite, I'm still learning new ways with color palettes and also yet making animation. What I'm getting at here is always have a glass half full, because there's a lot more to learn out there in the game dev world. For instance, if you are looking for a way to make a certain mechanic to work, like switching characters, there might be a tutorial out there that might be similar to the topic. Or if you are looking to add different weapon power-ups to help or to upgrade the player's strength for a certain amount of time, there could be a tutorial in the forums. There's still a lot to learn out there. Whether you join a community of the game engine of your choice, whether it's from Discord, Reddit, or the game engine's community forums, there's an amount of questions and answers out there that can help you out. Or better yet, participating in a game jam with a group can also help you. Not only you, but the people that you are with to grow your knowledge of understanding of the tools that you are using. This particular segment, I have to actually thank Legend Smith for this one, and I think any other game developers, including myself, would have actually said the exact same thing to any newcomers starting off, and that is starting off small. Making small games is a good way to help you understand how to make games with some limitation, but also help you improve your knowledge of your game engine, but also yourself, understanding how to debug your game, being the game designer, programmer and artist, allowing your brain to be more disciplined and consistent of knowing what your main scope that your game wants to be without having that kind of scope creep or feature creep coming in and causing problems later on. Always achieve the game overall design with one main feature and start building from there. A good example, Vibrant Ventures. Their main focus was the character switch mechanic, giving each character a different unique playstyle, allowing players to switch on the fly. Or better yet, a far more simpler concept, let's look at Super Mario Bros. It's all about getting from start to finish, and each levels gradually get difficult for each world that you go through. Not only that, they added items that can help Mario take extra hits or take out the enemies. As you can see in today's games, you see that all games have started off small, and later on they kept on improving and improving, working on something so small to give you an understanding and then work your way up. So when taking your first step into the game dev scene, be scared but don't feel overwhelmed. It can be hard, but it's not impossible once you start to understand yourself and what you want to be. You'll have an understanding of what your go-to game engine and tools will be once you ask yourself those important questions and start from there to growing your knowledge and capability and capacity to take on bigger projects later on. But just for now, just have fun, learn the game engine and tools of your choice, and take your time.